I must admit the explode command isn't as exciting to use as it sounds. With a name like explode, you might expect to see something spectacular when you use it. I'm afraid this isn't the case. What the explode command does is it converts our joined entities back into their individual components. Let's try using the explode command. I'm going to come up and click my open icon. And we're going to look inside our Chapter 9 folder within the exercise files directory. And I'm going to come down to drawing number 9, the explode drawing. We'll click to highlight that drawing and then click open. Now I've got some abstract geometry on my screen. We're going to use this to learn how the explode command works. If we look at the left side, I can see a hexagon. I drew this hexagon using the polygon command. And if I click the edge of the hexagon, I can see that Autocad is looking at this guy as one piece or one entity. Technically speaking, Autocad views this as a polyline or a multi-segmented line. Let me hit my escape key to clear the grips. Let's look at the geometry on the right. If I click on this rectangle, which was drawn using the rectangle command, Autocad also views this line work as a single piece. Likewise, if I click the hatch, Autocad's seeing that guy as a single object as well. Let me hit escape to clear the grips. Let's use the explode command to explode our hexagon. To use the explode command, I'm going to move over to my modify toolbar and I'm going to click on the explode icon, probably the best looking icon we have in Autocad. I will click that to launch, and then Autocad asks me to select objects. I'm going to move my cursor up and click on my hexagon to highlight it, and then I will right-click to finish the selection. That hexagon has been exploded. When I try and click on these entities, I can see that each piece is now an individual line segment. Let me hit escape to clear the grips. We're going to launch the explode command one more time, and we'll explode this geometry on the right. Let me come over and click the explode. Autocad's asking me to select objects. This time I'm going to select the hatch, and I'm going to select the rectangle. Now that I'm done with my selection, I will right-click so that Autocad knows I'm done, and those guys have been exploded. Each side of my rectangle is now an individual entity, as well as my hatch. Be careful using the explode command around your hatch. It's always better to have your hatch seen as an individual object than a bunch of disjointed entities. Let me hit escape to clear the grips, because you may be wondering, why would we want to use the explode command? Let's try and use the explode command in a practical example. I'm going to back up. We'll pan over. Let's say I'm designing a 5-panel door. Now I've created the outline of this door using the rectangle command, and if I click on this, I can see it's all treated as one object. Now I would like to offset my line work to create my panels. Unfortunately, if I try and offset my vertical lines over, they're not going to offset correctly because Autocad's going to try and offset this entire rectangle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to explode the rectangle, and that will allow me to offset my lines individually. Let me hit escape to clear the grips. We'll come down and we'll click our explode icon, and then we'll select the rectangle. When I right-click to finish the selection, that rectangle has been exploded. This guy is now individual pieces, and it's very easy for me to offset. I'm going to hit escape once again to clear the grips. And we'll pan over. Through the miracle of time-lapse photography, you can see the first offsets that I've created. I've offset my vertical lines over. Then I offset my horizontal lines up and down to define the shapes of my panels. And then lastly, I have cleaned up my geometry by using the trim command. Exploding my original rectangle made it possible for me to create the offsets that defined these panels. If you need to convert an object back into individual parts, use the explode command. While it may not be spectacular to watch, it does get the job done. Now that we've seen how to explode our entities into individual components, in the next session we're going to learn how to join our entities back together using the pedit command.